Story 1. I am told that I am good looking, but I struggle to hold any self-worth, so I just doubt myself out of starting anything. Story 2. I have noticed that people often like the idea of me. Very rarely do they try to genuinely get to know me, unfortunately. Story 3. Self-esteem issues arise when I think that because I am attractive, I deserve someone who is equally attractive, even though I may not have the personality to attract such a person. I often find myself waiting for perfection, which does not exist. I struggle with small talk and have difficulties with openness and intimacy. Story 4. I don't initiate anything, and I've become comfortable being single. Additionally, the dating scene is terrible right now. Story 5. Trauma. I often experience panic and significant spikes in anxiety when dating. Therapy is helping, though progress is slow. At times, I feel too traumatized to date, but my therapist disagrees. Story 6. All of the above. Additionally, those who are interested in me do not appeal to me, and those whom I find appealing do not reciprocate my feelings. Story 7. I am working on myself to attract a healthy male instead of someone who is emotionally immature, narcissistic, or abusive. I am breaking patterns of overgiving and undervaluing myself. By raising your self-worth, you improve the quality of people you attract. Story 8. I have no idea. I always tell women on the first date how lucky they are to be out with a remarkable, adventurous partner like myself, but they never answer my calls the next day. Story 9. Autism is a primary concern for me. Additionally, have you noticed the state of the economy lately? Spending money on dates could jeopardize my financial literacy. I want my savings safety net to be as strong as possible. Story 10. Don't initiate. I am happy alone, as relationships always felt like giving away my freedom due to the experience of having a controlling partner. Story 11. I am busy with graduate school and working on my career, but if the right person were to come along, I would be open to a relationship. Story 12. Dating is exhausting, and I'm already tired. I always say if I meet a woman and it's easy, then great. But the reality is that dating takes a lot of effort. You have to be really proactive. Story 13. I never cared for relationships, whether casual or serious, and I'm not interested in pursuing one just for the sake of it. Story 14. I will be honest. I don't want to share television. I want to watch what I want when I want. I like eating whatever I choose, cereal at night, lasagna for breakfast. I don't feel lonely or alone ever. I've been in long-term relationships, but I have chosen to live alone from now on. Dating is fine, but if someone leaves their toothbrush, I'm done. Story 15. I do not have the mental energy to deal with another person's emotions. I do not want to be in a relationship. Story 16. Relationships can be distractions. I have goals to accomplish right now. How many things have you set aside because of your partner? Story 17. I have no sexual attraction to people I don't have feelings for, and only find someone I connect with once every 4 to 6 years. When that ends, I remain emotionally unavailable for about 2 years, even if it wasn't a significant relationship. Story 18. I am not willing to settle. I feel really good being single. I have many friends and do a lot of activities. I have a wonderful child whom I love spending time with. I am only willing to have a relationship with someone who enriches my life, nothing less. Story 19. I get too nervous to approach, so I just don't do it. I work out, eat healthy, make money, and have noticed that I enjoy myself. One day I will take the leap and go for it, but I am enjoying the simplicity in my life right now. Story 20. I have had enough negative experiences with men that I have given up on dating. I haven't dated in 8 years, and life has been quite peaceful. Story 21. People can still be unpleasant no matter how attractive you are. If someone is attracted to you based on looks, they are likely shallow. Story 22. No one has really initiated anything, probably due to a repelling aura, and I haven't met my ideal partner yet. I feel like an old soul who doesn't fit in with this generation. I want something real, not a casual fling or one-night stand. Story 23. Because I have been in a relationship my whole life and now I live alone in my own place, I am going to try the single life. I will focus on things I have always wanted to do but was too busy raising kids or being in a couple. Story 24. My focus right now is to finish school. It has been less than a year since I ended my last relationship, and I definitely felt the emotional and physical effects of that breakup during my semester. I do not want to risk entering a new relationship when my main goal is to excel in my academics and finish strong. Story 25. I have been told by many people that I am attractive. I don't really believe it, but I have never had issues finding a partner in the past. Recently, however, I feel that nothing in my relationships is genuine. It seems like a facade. They like the idea of being with me but not who I truly am. I would prefer to remain single because a casual fling is far less stressful than another relationship that could disrupt my peace. Story 26. I'm not good at this. I don't know what to say. Girls approach me, but because I'm socially awkward, specifically with girls, I tend to ignore them, and they assume I'm not interested. I'm just focusing on self-improvement and putting in the effort. Story 27. High debt and low income. I am uncertain, but I have convinced myself that I am undateable due to these factors. Story 28. There are no eligible candidates, and if they are eligible, they are unmotivated. Therefore, there is no point in pursuing anything right now. Story 29. Alcoholism. Women I find very attractive say I am attractive, although I often doubt it due to my ongoing self-esteem issues. I struggle to function, and most women do not want to invest their time in someone with an addiction, even if I am kind and appealing. Story 30. I know what I am looking for and expect a man to meet me where I am or move on. I am also increasingly becoming more introverted, and I cannot meet a man in my house, as I do not use dating apps. Story 31. I'm good looking, and people generally think I'm funny and charismatic, but I can't escalate. There's a girl at a store I frequent. Her coworker told me she is into me, and I want to make a move, but when I go in, I just can't say anything. Feels like a block. Story 32. I love the hunt and having open options. I enjoy not being held down and being able to do what I want when I want. I am at a period in my life where I focus on myself, and I embrace it. I'm here for a good time, not a long time, and I am enjoying my youth while I can. Story 33. I work an insane amount of hours, and my relationships reach a point where my girlfriend makes me choose between her and my career. I continue to choose my career with no regrets. Story 34. I rarely see people I find attractive. I do not think I am better than anyone else. I just do not really see anyone I am interested in pursuing or being pursued by. Story 35. I am shy and what some people would describe as a feminine man, and I guess most women aren't interested in that. I don't go out much, but from what I've been told by others, I am relatively attractive. Story 36. I don't meet anyone I really like. It used to be that I was too scared, but I have improved. Now I express my feelings if I start to like someone. Story 37. I am told by many that I am beautiful and attractive, and I do get asked out, but they are never my type. I have a specific type, and yes, I have tried dating outside of that, but it never works. So I am single. Story 38. My game is as dry as a bone. I don't know if that analogy translates correctly. Regardless, it is not good. Honestly, I believe I am quite selective about a woman's true self, similar to how women are particular about physical appearance. Once I get to know them better, I often find myself thinking, all right, you're cool. We can be friends. Story 39. My lack of social skills and self-doubt, combined with the fact that the one girl I am talking to at the moment is hours away and very unwell, makes things challenging. Other than that, though, it's going well. Story 40. As a traditional man living in the eastern part of the world, where tradition still plays a significant role in dating, the influence of the West has affected many women here. It has reached a point where it feels pointless to invest effort, as now courting often means the man must chase after the woman without receiving much in return. Story 41. I logged in and this story was right above another one. I thought it was the answer to the question. Story 42. Sexual trauma has made relationships very difficult, especially when people just want casual connections. I need a strong attraction on both sides for it to work, but building trust with others is challenging because nobody is willing to help foster that trust. I have given up trying. Story 43. Dating can be quite challenging, regardless of where you live. Assuming I am attractive, I consider myself to be normal, intelligent, and not unattractive. Story 44. Tips Fedora. Well, milady, no one can tame the wild beast. Grabs a fistful of flaming hot Cheetos from the bag and shoves the entire fist in the mouth. Crumbs seasoned the already crumb-seasoned my other shirt is clean t-shirt. Goes back to a 12-hour gaming session and continues a streak of days without showering. Story 45. I rejected a few individuals, and they are persistent in scaring anyone who gets close to me. Yes, there are multiple. Story 46. I believe the gay dating world is extremely toxic and shallow. If you are not considered a perfect 10, you may feel like an outcast, and I do not have the energy for that anymore. I would rather be alone than feel degraded. Story 47. Inherently selfish, I tend to form relationships at the worst times. My last partner collapsed on the way to the bathroom and died days later. By choice, I want to say that I'm doing fine, but honestly, I feel broken now. What's frustrating is that my last partner was fully engaged until I mentioned that I had a vasectomy years ago. Then, just days later, she collapsed. I know the two events aren't connected, but it's tough to process. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be single for a long time. Story 48. I am rejecting people, and it is only now that I ask myself why. Perhaps it is because people do not know how to relate. Any slight creates mental upheaval. Story 49. First of all, I don't have good self-esteem. I feel that the way I treat boys and engage in activities traditionally associated with men makes them see me more as a friend rather than appreciating my beauty. Story 50. I'm not handsome, so I had to develop a personality and sense of humor. I don't attract many women at first, but once they get to know me, they see I'm a big teddy bear behind all these tattoos and my bald head. At 6 feet 2 inches tall and of Mexican descent, I usually date coworkers because they see who I really am. Story 51. I don't consider myself attractive, but I know for a fact that those I am compatible with are being withheld from my algorithm to make me look crazy and to make me lonely, increasing the chances that they can set me up with someone they choose out of a lack of other options. I hate my life so much. Story 52. I escaped a domestic violence situation and I feel exhausted. I am tired of being taken for granted and being cheated on. Story 53. I don't know if I am really that attractive, to be honest, even though people have told me I am. I often assume they are just being nice when they say things like that to me. On paper, I think I should score pretty high. I have a great job that pays well, I am friendly, I have a good sense of humor, and I frequently go out of my way to help others. However, I believe it comes down to having low self-confidence and trust issues from past relationships. I do not want to keep risking my heart only to be let down repeatedly by cheaters or liars. So, I question whether it is worth trying at all. Story 54. I may be good-looking, but my mental health is not great. I usually attract some pretty good girls fairly consistently, but once they get to know me, they lose interest. Story 55. Social anxiety and depression, along with my past relationship, have caused me significant distress. I am unsure if I will ever trust another woman to be stable. Story 56. It is easy to find someone to date, but it is not easy to find a quality person to date. I would rather be single than with the wrong person. Story 57. I cannot decide whether to focus on career progression or balance it with settling down. I prefer to wait for a fantastic match before committing to settling down. Story 58. I am waiting for God to bring my husband into my life, no matter how long it takes. I have been celibate for 10 months and single for 2 years. Story 59. Being a hopeless romantic in a hookup culture is a certain type of hell, and dating in Seattle is brutal. Story 60. It's really hard to meet people when you're done with school. Friends are married, and you work at a place where everyone is older. Story 61. I had a conflict with her, which was a significant low point in my life. At that time, I felt like one of the worst friends, and the most important realization was that if I had respected her feelings and her judgment of me, it could have been avoided. I lost myself that day, and even now, I feel that one bad moment ruined my life. I lost one of my closest friends and felt like I lost a part of myself. I still want to find happiness, but I struggle to do so. It's been 5 years, and every night has been one of my toughest challenges. I fight for myself to overcome these issues, but I never seem to succeed. Story 62. Dating is collecting information about someone until you realize that you no longer like them. Story 63. I am 27 now, not a late bloomer. I have been at it since high school. The dating scene is pretty brutal right now, more polarized than it has ever been. Many people are getting bad advice from social media. Individuals seem to be experiencing a lot of relatively minor negative situations that drastically and permanently change their dating habits and perceptions of potential partners. Some dates turn out well. It is easy to have fun if that is what you are looking for. However, trying to explore something new and determine if it has any real potential seems harder than it has ever been before. Story 64. I'm not sure if I am attractive, but I often get asked why I am single. I have not had the best experiences with people, and since then, I have not had any crushes or strong attractions. Occasionally, I feel like I need a partner, but when the possibility of dating someone becomes real, I hesitate. I am comfortable being single, which surprises a lot of people, and I do not like casual relationships either. Most of my friends who are constantly dating seem to be afraid of being alone, and their advice to me about people often reflects that same fear, urging me to settle for random individuals. Story 65. I'm not single because I cannot find anyone. I'm single because every time I meet someone, she shows me why I am better off being single. Story 66. I left my letter 2 months ago and have been much happier. I just want to take some time for myself before getting back into a relationship. Story 67. I don't know if I am actually attractive, but there is a significant lack of people willing to engage in a balanced relationship. Many individuals prefer to wait for others to approach them rather than taking any initiative. I am honestly tired of investing effort into relationships where the other person does not reciprocate. Story 68. I am not good at interpreting signals and I do not have much experience flirting. Additionally, I struggle with social anxiety. I have been referred to as creepy a few times, so I have given up. I would rather be single than have people think I am a creepy stalker. Story 69. I wouldn't necessarily categorize myself this way, as I consider myself an average-looking person. Even if I were a perfect 10, I would probably still be single for the same reasons I am now. Mostly by choice due to family obligations, some circumstances beyond my control, and my need for more alone time than the average person. Additionally, I identify as asexual. I find it impractical to navigate dating, so remaining single seems like the most sensible option. I do have a pen pal from Reddit who is also asexual and quite beautiful. In her case, her asexuality is the main reason she is still single. Story 70. Focused on creating a spiritual, mental, and physical revolution, but surrounded by numb, apathetic, or simply ineffective individuals who would rather be complicit in injustice than stand up for what is right for the good of all beings in the world and beyond. Story 71. I have a friend with benefits who is better than any past relationship. We get along great, and it's easy to be around him. Every ex cheated, so because this guy is not my boyfriend, he literally can't cheat. I'm not expecting or hoping it will grow into anything more than what it is now. For now, I'm enjoying being single and having the best sex of my life. Story 72. I'm shy around people I care about. I either push them away or make them think I'm disinterested. I need someone to make a move with confidence because I obviously can't do it. However, I'm fine with my independence. Being single isn't so bad. Story 73. I became sober 17 months ago, and it completely changed my life. I started going to the gym, lost about 30 pounds, and I look about 10 years younger than I did before. I'm just not used to being desired. I feel like I don't know how to navigate this new dating scene. I can't meet people at bars like I used to. I just got a dating app, but that has been a nightmare. I'm waiting for someone to randomly walk up to me and ask me out. Story 74. I consider myself attractive, so I will use that as my basis to respond. First, I am selective. Second, I am introverted, do not drink, and have not had many opportunities to socialize where men can approach me without it feeling awkward. Third, I do not like dating apps or casual dating, which are common today. When I did use apps, they triggered a lot of anxious attachment, so I want to limit my dating experiences to men I meet and speak to in person. This way, I can avoid destabilizing my mind and feelings with an artificial system. Story 75. I'm transgender in a conservative country. Long-distance relationships did not work for my last boyfriend. I may come off as too outspoken. Story 76. Online dating is quite disappointing where I am, and I don't explore other ways to meet new people. Story 77. It's less about physicality and more about our values and principles. Trust me, I'm looking for someone to love. It just has to be worth waiting for. And the applications are a chaotic mix of careless language. I get matched with objectively gorgeous women. That doesn't mean I'll tolerate country music, someone who yells or is highly reactive, engages in narrative forming, supports controversial figures, is racially insensitive, sexually objectifying, unloving, lacks compassion or empathy, has a low emotional intelligence, or low cognitive ability. The list goes on. I've had the pleasure of getting really close. We both take responsibility for damaging that relationship, but we may decide to work on it. Life is full of opportunities for me. I'm tall, distinguished, blue-eyed, in shape, funny, and have so much love to give to the woman who respects me. Story 78. Everyone in my state is overweight. Every time I match with someone on a dating app who looks fit, I feel deceived. Story 79. Single is the default state. I didn't know the goal was to escape it at all costs. I am 34 years old and was single for very long stretches of time. I had a specific vision of a long-term relationship, not in terms of my partner's physical appearance or their job, but in terms of the relationship dynamic and lifestyle compatibility. I rarely came across a man whose lifestyle and behavior would align with my vision and who I would also feel sexually attracted to. I sometimes felt like I was being too picky, but ultimately, I want to be excited about a guy to go on more than one date with him. It would be a disservice to the other person to try and create a semblance of attraction where there is none. Additionally, once I worked on my self-worth, learned how to communicate my needs kindly and effectively, and became a better, more empathetic listener, honestly, around the age of 30, but better late than never, it took me a while to meet a person who could match that and also meet my other expectations. Story 80. I don't feel that I am very interesting upon a deeper look. Maybe to family, but I have no hobbies or interests besides video games. They helped me get through high school with poor grades. My past computers overheated from playing Roblox, so I can't really discuss games either. I have become comfortable with solitude. I don't take initiative, and I doubt myself before starting anything. I don't feel like I have learned to fully love myself before entering a relationship, so I hold myself back. Story 81. I am just now getting out of the whole casual dating scene and realizing that serious dating is completely different. This, combined with my high standards for my future partner, has made the learning curve quite steep. I am also a self-critical perfectionist, and part of me always thinks I need to be doing better, working out more, earning more money, and learning more to fully support the woman of my dreams. Additionally, the fact that dating for marriage is essentially a numbers game has slowed things down significantly. Story 82. I am still learning to love myself more, figuring out new things about who I am, and focusing on building my career. Right now, I am putting my energy into myself, getting clear on what I want in life, setting goals, and growing as a person. I think it is important to be in a good place with yourself before you can fully give to someone else. Being single is not something to stress over. It is a chance to focus on your own growth, dreams, and happiness. Story 83. I truly view myself as average, but I do receive compliments from time to time. I am single because I have crippling complex post-traumatic stress disorder. I am a huge fan of romance, love, and relationships, but I can never seem to maintain the stability to sustain them for longer than a year or so. Story 84. There is no one I am attracted to in my area. I prefer more alternative individuals, but the local scene is small and conservative. The dominant culture consists of oil field workers and traditional types, which does not appeal to me at all. Story 85. Men usually only want me for a good time and don't really care to get to know me as a person. The problem with being beautiful is that you're constantly lusted after. People like the idea of you and experiencing you rather than actually loving and cherishing you for who you are. Story 86. The love of my life ended our relationship after 3 years through a text message, which really affected me. She also said I was emotionally abusive and controlling, which I probably was, and I was out of work. It was a rough year, but therapy and a new job are helping restore my confidence to hopefully attract someone good again. Story 87. I often appear unapproachable or skeptical when someone approaches me. I receive unwanted attention and struggle to distinguish between people who genuinely want to talk, build friendships, or are just trying to date or establish intimacy. Being an introvert doesn't help either. Story 88. I'm readjusting my life, trying to overcome my newly developed social awkwardness. I am enjoying the experience of dating myself. Story 89. High standards. I know the qualities I bring to the table, and I am willing to wait for the right opportunity and not settle. Story 90. I have taken the advice of women on Reddit and accepted that I may be alone forever because women are not a monolith. Story 91. I am in the process of transitioning my gender and do not feel ready physically, mentally, or emotionally for it right now. I was attractive before, and I am actually surprised that I am still attractive now, even though I am not in my final form yet. Although I do not think my standards have ever been that high, my area is lacking, and the people I meet usually tend to fall short. The women who have been interested in me have always ended up lacking in important areas, and the men never progress far enough in the relationship before a deal breaker arises. I would definitely have better luck in a more populated area, to be honest. Story 92. Online interactions can be challenging because I need to be proficient at writing letters and performing in theatrical plays, along with having an impressive portfolio for review. In-person interactions have become difficult as people seem socially awkward, leading them to react negatively when approached. Story 93. I just got out of a relationship 2 months ago, and it really hurts. I now have a crush on a coworker I can't have because I had a girlfriend. I feel alone and completely lost. Also, I don't think I am an attractive person. Story 94. I have lost trust in relationships and loyalty. Sometimes I feel I don't even fit in with my generation, choosing peace over drama. Story 95. I have high standards and look for specific qualities in a partner. Deep down, I don't believe anyone is good enough for me. I also don't want to compromise or adjust my lifestyle or share my finances or home with anyone. I prefer not to spend constant time with someone for the rest of my life. Although I still haven't met the right person, I have adjusted my expectations of what a partner should be. Things are much better now, as I remain unwilling to change anything about myself to find the ideal partner. Story 96. No woman wants a man who is jobless, regardless of his attractiveness or model-like appearance. Story 97. I was single for most of my 20s. I was addicted to the seduction stage, and once I slept with a girl, I would lose interest. I treated them as a means to satisfy my high sex drive, and I understandably got labeled as promiscuous. This reputation caused people to see me only as casual fun. Story 98. I've been told that my opinions are too radical to be a traditional wife by some, while others have said that I am too closed off and do not let people in. I am very dismissive of the idea of being dependent on someone, which makes men feel inadequate, as if they do not have a place in my life or cannot add value to it. This creates an emasculating and frustrating experience. As a result, pursuing me isn't worth the emotional toll. Story 99. After years of autopilot navigating post-traumatic stress disorder, I feel grounded in my body. I would rather prioritize my growth and health and continue my education, which was on hold for 5 years, than pretend I'm flattered when a random man tells me I'm rare or beautiful. Move out of the way. I'm just trying to get to the peanut butter-filled pretzels. Story 100. I consider myself above average, but I have a complete inability to chat up someone I find attractive if we don't have anything tangible in common. When something breaks the ice for me, I often have no problem getting along with strangers, and I have experienced countless situations where it was obvious someone was attracted to me. I don't usually ask someone out or request their number for several reasons. I fear pursuing someone only to find out they are not compatible, or they might have different beliefs or toxic traits, which leads to having to turn them down. I often feel like it is the wrong time to ask them out, or that I should spend more time getting to know them platonically to ensure compatibility and increase my chances of success. Additionally, I dislike the idea of typical heterosexual relationships and gender roles, and I fear that initiating such a relationship would place me in that dynamic. I often tell myself that the right person will ask me out. I also have very niche passions and dislikes, and no one I am interested in seems to want to discuss those topics. Finally, I think the type of people I am interested in are not typically interested in me. I would also add that I was homeless for 3 years. My teeth have deteriorated. I am out of shape, and I feel overwhelmed by current events and my future. I finally resolved my homelessness this year, and now I am spending all my earnings on dental care. The world will probably end before I have put myself back together. Story 101. You kids need to read up on the types of avoidant disorders. It will help you understand what is happening. Story 102. I have no desire to be in a relationship right now. I ended things with my boyfriend during COVID-19, and I am content with being single. Story 103. Younger people kept saying how attractive I was. I was also very friendly. I misinterpreted friendly gestures as romantic interest, and my genuine friendliness was misread as flirtation. As a result, I spent much of my teens and early 20s mostly alone, since many girls assumed I was a player. I even faced rejection from girls who didn't want to be a secondary partner. One girl even became upset with me more than a year after rejecting me because I started dating someone she knew who was a great partner. Story 104. I have a pretty aggressive personality. No, not in the I'm so edgy and cool way. I can just come off really strong. This includes how I talk, my mannerisms, tone, language, and my resting serious face. I wouldn't really say I get angry. I'm just pretty reactive and have an opinion about everything. Once I see an opportunity to speak, which is quite often, I won't stop talking. This usually leads to arguments, and I just keep going until I prove myself right. I consider myself a decent-looking person, and I am proud of that. I am vain, but I don't really boast about my looks unless someone insults me. Story 105. I don't know. Partially, the people I choose have their own issues, but my ADHD and slight tendencies also affect my ability to communicate properly. This eventually leads to additional issues. Story 106. A year and a half out of a relationship, and I don't feel like attempting to trust another person, like any of them. Story 107. There are not many places to socialize and meet new people. While I don't consider myself good-looking, my friends and family do. Some have even suggested that I should ask a girl out. However, I'm unsure how to do that, especially with my anxiety and the limited options available for mingling. Story 108. Men only flirt with me by commenting on my body and trying to initiate sexual encounters. It is annoying, shallow, and disrespectful. I am happily single, though it would be nice to have someone special. Story 109. I have significantly misaligned teeth. I'm extremely self-conscious about living at home with my parents. I feel like a failure, and while I come off as charismatic and likable, I have to be selective about when and how I present myself because I can afford very little. I'm still in school at 35. Basically, I am a living contradiction, and allowing anyone to see my true self while seeking love is out of the question for me. Story 110. I find that my appearance is a roadblock to a meaningful romantic relationship. Way too often, I get stereotyped or put on a pedestal, and I am honestly just tired of being treated like a trophy instead of a person. Yes, I understand that I am attractive, but I am much more than that, and it would be nice if you actually bothered to ask. I think you are attractive too, but I show an interest in wanting to get to know you because I care about more than just looks. It also doesn't help that people are often more forward than I am comfortable with. It feels like they expect me to be comfortable with that behavior simply because I am attractive. The funny thing is, I identify as demisexual, which means I am physically incapable of enjoying that kind of interaction unless I know you very well. Additionally, there is a stereotype that people get upset with you if you are somewhat of a nerd or have unusual interests while also being conventionally attractive, and it is very true. It doesn't help that, fashion-wise, I'm quite feminine, so for some, it seems unacceptable that I do not have stereotypical attractive interests, like shopping and watching reality television. Story 111. I am twice divorced. In my first marriage, I narrowly avoided being harmed by my ex-wife's affair partner. My second wife had a same-sex affair, which I discovered. The divorces have robbed me of my passion for romance, my role as a full-time parent, and the financial means to afford unnecessary things, leaving me in a deep depression. After therapy and medication led to stability, I have decided not to enter another relationship. Unfortunately, I chose the wrong partners, so I am not choosing anymore. Good luck out there, everyone. Story 112. I struggle to be happy with what I have. I often make mistakes by reminiscing about past relationships, which makes me want to start over. Story 113. In all honesty, it's because I can't walk. I lost my ability to walk due to a botched surgery, and I am often avoided. I used to go out when I was able-bodied, and that was just 4 years ago. I won't go out in public anymore. Story 114. Most of my hobbies are at home. I have autism and attention deficit/hyperactivity disorder and struggle with social norms. I act like an excited 7-year-old when I let loose of my mask. Story 115. I would like to know the reason as well. It's probably because I am affected by past relationships. Story 116. I find myself attractive, but I don't actively seek to meet men and rarely receive attention. I gauge my external attractiveness based on the numerous compliments I receive from strangers, who often tell me I am beautiful. I maintain a size 00 in my 20s, have no children, and earn a high salary, which frees me from dating for financial reasons. Living in Orange County, I notice that most people are slender and financially well off. Story 117. I am completely happy doing my own thing. I don't have time or the desire to engage in romance. It's nice to receive a compliment occasionally, but I have better things to do. Story 118. I have recently become more attractive, so my charm and suaveness still need some time to catch up. Story 119. For the first time in my life, I think being by myself is quite wonderful. Usually, when I was single, my first instinct was to seek out someone because being in relationships was what I was used to and preferred. Now, 2 years since my last breakup, I am thoroughly enjoying my own company. So if someone wants to be with me, it needs to be even better than my solitude. Story 120. I am traumatized, and people do not like the chore of being considerate of my feelings. I apologize for having needs. That was not very objectifying. Story 121. Love is a lie, companionship is an illusion, and being alone is preferable to a life bound to someone else's problems. I will take care of my friends and family. Romance is for the birds. Story 122. I'm either shockingly handsome or incredibly unattractive. The stress and anxiety that come with this keep me single. Story 123. I don't think I'm really that attractive, but I've been told a lot of people find me appealing for some reason. And my reason for being single? I'm aromantic and asexual, so yes. Story 124. I may not be conventionally attractive, but I find that being genuinely interested in things and people is a great way to engage with them. If your goal is purely physical and you're feeling desperate, that urge can be quite noticeable. Surround yourself with supportive people and offer them your support in return. Listen to those you trust and practice kindness. Humor has been my key. Being aware of your surroundings and making observations that uplift rather than bring others down is essential. Be self-deprecating, but avoid falling into a woe is me mindset. I'm not typically this optimistic, but I had a wonderful evening with someone I've liked for a long time. Remember, anyone can find affection, regardless of appearance. Stay strong, everyone. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.